Now that we are more or less know everything about DCBT07, a question arose in the random part of my head. Is DCBT07 a Gunner booster?
That escalated quickly.
Because ever since we got a first review for the boss unit, which is like Argo Siren, then follow up with and then a confirmation of new form of buff Sabra and a new recall right line that is essentially a Link Joker, which never happened in Novida. And then we have this. Gunning joke aside, is a brand new archetype that we have received for Keter Sanctuary. Houndrazer actually honors the original High Dog breeder that we know and love. That is exactly what I'm gonna be talking about today. And we are starting of course with the right line, as we have Houndrazer Izumi. This unit when brought upon by Houndrazer Hakuren, aka the Grade 2. Look at top 7 card of your deck, choose up to 1 high beast from among them, call it to Reka Circle and shuffle the deck. And then this also had a Reka skill where when boosted by a high beast unit, this unit also get additional 10k until end of that battle. I gotta admit, you're not gonna be using the second skill because most of the grade 1 will most likely be delegated to the dogs. But the first skill is really good, especially considering one of the most broken ass Keter card in the existence right now is a dog.
Coincidence? I think not.
The high beast to be precise. So it does help you with a early game aggro decently well, especially considering that dog. Talking about that dog, we also have Hakuren, which is the grade 2, where when this unit brought upon by Houndrazer Aoi, so specific name, look at top 7 card of your deck, choose up to 1 unit card with Houndrazer in its card name from among them, review it and put into the hand and shuffle the deck. If you did not review a card by this ability, you can call this card from Soul to Reka Circle and Soul Charge 1. And then auto on Reka Circle, when you see it boosted by high beast, you may choose a high beast normal unit from your drop and you may put it on the bottom of the deck. So the first skill is a strong reminiscence of Rotovisor in a way because it search for the archetype in itself. But unlike Rotovisor, we did get a few Houndrazer to actually search for. But even if you fail so, this unit as
Rearguard
is actually pretty good in itself, as it does allow you to recycle a normal unit high beast from your drop, aka the dog. Overall, it's a nice runner-up price when you cannot find other Houndrazer that you need to use for the gameplay. And then we have the unit that everyone was gunning over, and that is Houndrazer Aoi. I question the practicality of this uniform.
Stop it. Get some help.
Anyway, this unit has 3 abilities where the first one is a constant that giving all the high beast unit additional 5k as long as they are in the back row. This active during the opponent turn as well. And then act once per turn, you can Soul Blast 2 to search for any high beast and call it to Reka Circle and shuffle your deck. And last but not least, Counter Blast 1, choose one of the grade 1 or less high beast in your back row center column, and then until end of turn, that unit can attack from back row and also get additional ability where at the end of the battle, this unit attack, you can stand it, but it cannot attack until the end of turn. And if your opponent Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, perform drive checks for the battle the chosen unit attack.
俺はお前だ。鏡の中のな。
So I see a lot of argument online comparing this to Graham Grace, and I would say yeah, it is very similar to Graham Grace in the sense that like both deck does eventually drive check 3 times and essentially enable the back row center column unit to be able to attack from the back row. So I can see why some people are arguing whether is it better or not. But I do feel if you just talk about the base, then definitely Aoi, purely because of the fact that she also have to search out for a unit in itself. And at the same time, if you're going second, you can start drive checking additional drive as well. It's a very similar dilemma to whether you want to go for Excel 1, Graham Grace, or you want to go to Excel 2, which is in this case Aoi. And of course, I'm not forgetting about her ability to just search for any high beast. Is a very well respected skill, mainly because of the fact that instead of do a Counter Blast 2 like Akane, it do a Soul Blast 2 which still honor her in a way that is red and number 2. But here comes the big question. How many high beasts in the current Keter Sanctuary that is not locked behind archetype units is available for this deck? Well, initially it would be a tough thing for me to kind of research in, but thankfully I was kind of saved by a certain Bacon.
Nice.
So if you want more deeper information for going through card by card for the high beast, just check BaconSaver's video. What I'm gonna take from that video is that there are essentially 4 viable targets in high beast, which is actually very small considering we have been around the format for almost 4 years by now. So it makes us questioning whether is Bushiroad throw this archetype in now because they are aware of this.
Also,
Having an expensive card being forced to run in the deck never feel nice, though there is a silver lining, and this gonna be something that I'll add additionally that BaconSaver did not add. In Thailand, this deck might works. Because there is one particular card that got reprinted that got transformed into High Beast, Drilling Angel, which was transformed into Moonlight Festival if I remember correctly. I'll show the card arts here. So yeah, technically this deck might be slightly better in Thailand. Anyway, speculation aside, let's talk about the other card that we received in the booster that is heavily related to Houndrazer, and there are 4 additional cards in total, 2 of which, thankful enough, are High Beast. And the very first one is Cerrgaon. Cerrgaon has 2 skills, and all of them can only be used if your Vanguard is grade 3 or greater Houndrazer, where in the back row center column Vanguard, when this unit attack and your opponent would guard from their hand, they have to call 2 or more cards at the same time, and this unit also get additional 5k shield until end of that battle. The shield value will make more sense later on, but the first skill is really helpful considering ROE enable this card to have 13k attack, which is actually crucial, especially considering this type of card restrict. The last stock that was out of the booster is Vanguard, where this unit also has 2 skills, where when placed on Reka Circle and you have Vanguard with Houndrazer in this name, you can soul charge 1 or energy charge 1. It also has constant in the back row, where if you have Houndrazer Vanguard, it gets 5k, and if this unit is in the back row center column and your Vanguard is greater, it gets 10k instead of 5k. This is actually very good unit to use in the early game or even in the late game, purely because of the fact that you can essentially get a huge amount of power in the earlier part of the game, allowing you to actually rush, which is something that the deck is capable of doing it very well, especially if you're considering the last 2 cards that was released, which are fortunately enough Houndrazer cards. The first one being Mishiro. This unit has 2 skills, where when placed on Reka Circle and you have a Vanguard with Houndrazer in its card name, counterblast 1, look at top 7 card of your deck, choose up to 1 grade 1 or less high beats from among them, call it to Reka Circle and shuffle the deck. If you do not call a card, counter charge 1, and then auto Vanguard once per turn when this is boosted by a high beast, you may soul charge 1, and if your opponent is grade 3 or greater and you have 2 or more back row high beasts, this unit get additional 10k until end of that battle. This is very solid, as not only it helps you to populate the field very quickly, she's also a very solid attacker while also helping to refill the soul needed for our dog searching skill. And this is on top of the fact that she actually can be used in the earlier part of the game. It is a little bit unfortunate for the fact that she only searched for high beasts rather than both high beast and Houndrazer, because the last card, Seishin, is not helping in that regard, but he is still good regardless, as he enabled all the high beasts in your Reka Circle to be able to intercept and can intercept from the back row as well. And on top of that, he also has ability where when boosted by a high beast unit, and if you have a Vanguard with Houndrazer in its name, until end of that battle, this unit get 5k, and if your opponent Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, you can energy blast 3 to give him additional crit as well. This allows you to essentially pressure your opponent in the later part of the game, while also making use of all of the high beasts that may have already used their own play skill in general. So this does make the deck survivability a little bit better than usual, while also opening up slot for ROE to superior call the dog into. So how good is Houndrazer, the honor of Agane? I'll say it does honor Agane well, as the deck has a strong focus on high beasts, and even though the number of high beasts available to you on launch is not many, it is enough for you to play around for some interesting interaction in general. And the deck does have a decent filter ability, in particular to the high beast, so you technically has a 4 attack deck that can hit decent numbers while also consistently filter out the deck. But it is far from perfect, as without the dogs in the back row, most of the attack are hitting like wet noodle. Heck, even the back row attack is hitting like a wet noodle if you're not using cards like Cerrgaon or Melgaon to actually buff to an extent. And to make things worse, this deck counterblast and soul use are quite ridiculous, at least in my opinion. Yes, the only card that soul blast is just Aoi, but soul blast 2 is still a lot of commitment, even if there is a support around that help you to refill it. And like I said in the earlier part of this video, making one of the most important staples is a crucial part of the deck, feels a little bit scummy for me, unless they are planning to reprint Cerrgaon in a much larger quantity. And that's Houndrazer, an honor that I have to say actually giving well back to the ancestor, namely Akane. So what do you guys think? Is this right line the right line that you gonna good on?
Stop it. Get some help.
Do leave down the comments below, and yeah, that's all I have for today. Take care of yourself, don't forget to clap that sub and become a member for some cool perks. And this is Mac Megane signing out.